Hello and welcome to the Quibber channel. I'm Jason, your host, and I'm now on the way home. I've picked up the steak for the dogs, so just got to get back on the path. So yeah, we're continuing the talk about disabilities and how they affect people. Remember, everybody is unique when it comes to disability. There isn't one size fits all. There isn't one way of fixing it. Some people with disabilities can work, others people can't. My brain is pretty well fucked when it comes to remembering things. Sometimes it can be so distracting. I use these vlogs as to focus me. I use these vlogs to keep me stable while I'm out. Because not only does using the vehicle itself help me, but actually talking to all of you, this helps as well. So I'm always trying to focus, to put things in order, because my brain is all over the place all the time. One of the main reasons I'm able to role play chaos so well is because my brain is chaos. My brain is distracted by every little thing I see. I can get up in the morning and I can walk out to my bedroom and I can forget to go to the bathroom. I can forget to brush my teeth. I can forget to change my clothes. I can forget many things. I have coping strategies for the really important stuff, like remembering to actually take medication and stuff and let the dogs out and everything. I've got lots of different things that I've set up to keep things going, but before I had a lot of my coping strategies, I could go a week without using the bathroom. I could become constipated because my brain would forget that I needed to use the toilet. Imagine that. Imagine a brain that's so fucked up and so distracted by things that you actually forget to do the basic bodily function. See, I would love to have a job. I would absolutely fucking love to have a job. The independence and the self-worth to actually have a job, an actual fucking job where I earn money, I would love. But that job would have to come with a lot of conditions. It would have to make it so, A, I could work from home, because unless it's close enough for me to get there in this and I've got a safe space at the place I'll be working, I won't be able to do jack shit. This isn't me trying to make excuses. This is just the facts of my life. I need to have a guarantee that if anything happens, I can go back on disability, that they won't just leave me out there. So I need to have that, because I know my brain can one day just say, I can't do this, or forget things. I need someone who understands that if they teach me how to do a job, there's probably a very good chance that I will forget everything that you teach me by the next day. I mean, remember, I've got something like 3,000 hours in the game Warframe, spread over many, many years. And I still, if I logged into Warframe now, I would not know how to do any of the combinations. People actually think when they see me playing my Warframe account that I've bought it, that I've bought it from someone, because nobody who's got this many hours in the game should not be able to do certain things. I can be in a mission on Warframe, and halfway through the mission I will forget how to use my melee weapon. This isn't just with that, this is Beat Saber. I've got 700 odd hours of Beat Saber. I use it 30 minutes every single day as part of my help with my exercise and that, so I do a bit of exercise every fucking day. And even though I do that every day, 30 minutes, for many, many years, every song I do in Beat Saber, 4 or 5 times during the song, I will forget which coloured lightsaber I've got in which hand, and which hand hits which type of boxes. This isn't something that can be fixed. This isn't something that I can just learn to get good. My brain just will think. So imagine that in a work situation. Imagine if I've got to do a job, a specific job every single day, and I've got to remember what that job is. And I've got a certain amount of things. I would have to write everything down. I would have to have it in front of me. I would get, and anybody asked me anything that I wasn't expecting, my brain would fall apart. So, please, if you think there's a job out there that I could do where I don't have to talk to strangers, where I have no contact with people that I wouldn't think, where I can work 1 hour a day or 10 hours a day or 24 hours a day, depending on what my brain decides is a good thing, people keep telling me that I should do voice acting and narration of audiobooks, and I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I've got the kind of voice who could do that, but good luck on focusing me and keeping me going and making sure that I don't forget and making sure that things that I'm supposed to do are actually get done. It isn't that I don't want to. These are actually parts of my disability. Some days when I wake up, all that I manage to do is get up, let the dogs out, have something to eat, do one vlog on my computer, and that's it. I have exhausted myself, my mental energy's gone for the day, it's just not going to give me anything else, I can't do anything else. So, a lot of people who are disabled would love to have jobs, would love to not rely on a fucking government that seems to want to put us out to pasture or take us behind the shed with a gun and finish us off because we're not a productive member of society. I'd love to not have that sword of Damocles hanging above my head. I would love to not be at the be-all and mercy of any fucking government department that decides that it's going to cut thingy, because that money, that extra money, helps me function daily, helps me function during the week, helps me be able to have equal standing in some ways and some kind of independent life. And they want to take all that away. And you know what the scary thing about it is? The way this system is set up, they could take the money away and notify me afterwards. So how I would find out was that money wasn't going to my bank account was the simple fact that money wasn't going to my bank account. And I'd get a message probably a week later saying, oh, by the way, we've frozen your account. We want to do an investigation to make sure you're supposed to be on this and all this bullshit. And I'd have to deal with all that. That is unfortunately what a lot of disabled people in the UK are facing now. Because the government has demonised disabled people, and we are this is why your taxes are rising. This is why this is. They say, oh, there's lots more people on disability, they must be conning. We had COVID, we had anxiety, depression, death. We've had so many disasters in the last fucking 2-3 years, and you've defunded all of the mental health places, so there isn't any help for mental health. And on top of that, you've actually burnt all of the support we had. Because you got to think, when stuff like COVID happens and cost of living and everything else, what's the first thing you stop sending money to? Charities. And the thing is, what you won't probably know is in the UK, I don't know what it's like in different countries, but in the UK, 99% of help for mental health is a charity-based thing. When you get diagnosed with autism, when you get diagnosed with bipolar, when you get diagnosed with ADHD, the leaflets that you give you are full of charities. And now those charities were overworked and working over 100% before COVID. Imagine what they're like now. Imagine what they're facing now. And they wonder why there's more disabled people, more people with anxiety and depression and harm. And that's the sad thing. Do you know that for an adult to get diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, which is what it's called now, takes 3 years. The waiting list is 3 years. And that's for my local area. I was very, very lucky because I had a really good team of people helping me in 2019 before COVID came about, before they were fully overwhelmed. They were able, the person who looked after me, who was pretty amazing, said, okay, I can officially diagnose you right now with bipolar type 2. Because that's my specialty. But I can't diagnose you with ADHD because that isn't my specialty. But there's a person in the next office who's a friend of mine who might have time for you today to just see you. And I think we should try go through that right now. Otherwise you'll be waiting something like 12 months before you'll see him. So I went in there, and it was funny because he said, okay, have you got anything from your parents or a close thingy? Because we need that really to be able to diagnose you, even though he said to me, without the family history in that. Now I could provide some of the family history, but the problem was that because my mum had dementia and my wife was dead, and all these other things, there was no one who could actually provide corroboration. So he says, okay, but thankfully my mental health professional says, he says, he was just grinning to himself, just give him the forms and let him fill it in. We'll talk after. He said, and this guy was like, okay, but don't get your hopes up. We can't do this quick. So I filled in the forms. I provided the little bit of information I had and filled in the forms. And it was like half an hour later, when he took the forms off me, he just sat down and he read through it. And he kept looking at me as he read through it. And by the end he said, "You've got ADHD." It was just like that. It was like, he says, and he once again he looked at the other and says, "How the fuck has this person been functioning?" Because that's the thing, when my main primary assessor, who was really amazing mental health professional, when he actually connected to me and talked to me, he said to me after reading my actual list of issues and my history and everything I'd gone through, and he basically said straight out, "How come you're not dead?" He said that because he says, "I've dealt with people with half the amount of problems you've got, half the amount of symptoms and stuff that you're dealing with, and you're still functioning, so what the fuck's going on?" And that's when we started looking into how I'd always used computers and technology and game as coping strategies, and I developed this whole system. And straight away he says, "Okay, we're going to throw away all the normal things that you would try to do with someone of your age and that, and with these situations separately, and we're going to go with a completely separate idea. We're going to use virtual reality, we're going to use technology, we're going to leverage all the affinity you've got with your autism to deal with all the other problems you're facing." And it worked. It fucking worked. It worked so well. I'm still here because of it. So that is why I am so annoyed at how the sad thing is, it's going to be harder every time for me to actually show how disabled I am, because I no longer have to talk to all those people because everything's in place. So, yeah. I'm going to stop this video now. I've gotten all the mess that was out of my head. So I'll say bye-bye for now. I'll upload these when I get home.